heartbeat, handshake, fresh made lemonade. Suddenly undressed, lips hurt that useless. Your dreams are real, she's fire, she's worth it. Lies on, lies off, bones and lacks and colors are all over the place. And you don't know if the train picked you or if you picked the train. But all you want is to start all over again. Her hips in your hips, her moves is your dish. Your walls are rough, you feel them spit. Days fade, you can stop it, but boy, you wish you could. Finally, you say goodbye and you hope to say hello soon. And you don't know if the train picked you or if you picked the train. But all you want is to start all over again. All you want is to start all over again.
Welcome. We are back. Another day in the market. Kind of a mixed day today. I would say, you definitely had some opportunity on both sides today. We'll get to all of that. We're gonna start with crypto. Talk about my thoughts in the overall market, going into tomorrow and into next week. This is the final stream of the week. What was the last song that played? I know Zeke also said something. There you go. That was the name of the last song, or the intro song. I don't even know how to pronounce that name, but start all over again. All right, so yeah, let's just get started with Bitcoin. Still testing a very key level, maybe a little bit of a bullish pin bar. Let's see. I don't know. I actually don't even know if you can call that a pin bar, but close to a bullish pin bar. And you have wicked under this 28.7k level, but you haven't closed any daily candle below the level. You're still technically above it. This is the most important area, and on the chart, in my opinion, you're just hanging on by a thread right now. You have some classic bullish divergence on the RSI. Nothing much on the MACD for right now, so we're just waiting for more data. Moving on to Ethereum. Wow, look at this. We broke this blue zone of support. We went right down to the next zone of support I charted last night on stream, which was 1723 from these three lows over here. We tapped it, and then it just bounced up. And you are oversold on Ethereum on the daily. And not much on the 4 hour, maybe a little bit of classic bullish divergence on the RSI. And moving on to UST, this stable coin went from $1 to 26 cents. Obviously, no TA can be done on that, and I'm just talking about it because it's, you know, very relevant right now in the crypto space. But pretty much anybody who's put like anything into these has lost all their money or whatever like they put into it. And some people like have lost all their money. So, you know, I've just seen so many different things on Twitter today and even on YouTube. Like anybody who was like really affected by this, you know, just, it's cliche, but try and keep your head up. There's going to be other opportunities, and we're all wishing you the best. I mean, even myself, I told y'all last night that just is like a gamble, and it had nothing to do with TA or fundamentals or anything. It was just like this thing literally went from like 100 plus to like $1 at the time last night. It was like $100 to $1. Maybe it goes to 2. If it doesn't, I'm just going to put in whatever I'm willing to risk. And yeah, same thing as most other people. That just went to like negative 99%. So, you know, there's obviously, you know, you could try and do T. I actually did see a few different intraday things playing out, but like we're gonna stay away from that. That's not what this stream is for. But it's just a very relevant part of the crypto space right now, which is why I want to just talk about it. So, you know, you could chart the levels. It reacts to some levels, it doesn't to others, and then it just randomly drops 80%. Like, you know, it's literally this, right? So I guess that's my coverage on it. I don't know, maybe we'll come back to it later if it does something. I think right now, if I'm reading this correctly, I think this is like 2% of 1 cent. Is that the current price? Because 1 cent would be 0.01. I think it's, am I reading that correctly? This is 2% of 1 cent. So if you had like a 1 here, that would be like a tenth of a cent. This would be, if there was a 1 here, it'd be 1 cent. So this is like 2% of 1 cent. But yeah, I think. So that's really it for crypto. Moving on to other markets. Oil, just still kind of in this little range. You know, this range is spinning. Not much of an update there. Moving on to gold. Broke under, or breaking under, and broke under the 200-day moving average. I think it's going to be too deep. It's going to be a mix of a BAT and a Gartley. You're going to have a Gartley B point, there you go, and then you're going to have a BAT PCC. So it's a mix. We could call it a Bartley. I know Mitch Ray uses that term sometimes. Not an official harmonic, but we'll see. Maybe something you're already kind of working on, a little bit of a bounce off the 886, but I don't know. It's still just, I'd like to see more. You could maybe even draw like a trend line or something, which is like testing a breakdown from. Moving on to silver, which is also testing a breakdown. And look at this. You tested the breakdown, you closed 1 day under the zone, and then you retested it as resistance, and then you dumped again. It's like a break hook and go to the downside on silver, breaking this level of support. It's held since September of 2020. So break hook and go to the downside on silver. Not a big fan of how that's looking right now. The dollar, oh my gosh, higher and higher. Just right above. I think the last time we were above this resistance, we look at this like every night. I need to start remembering. But highest prices since 02. Yeah, I keep saying the same thing. Next level I see is 106 on the dollar currency index. The Hang Seng index down a couple percent today. It's not really doing much right now. It just looks very 50-50 to me right here. And yeah, now we can move over to the stock market. All right. So the S&P today. In the morning, we did see some aggressive buying, and especially a lot of growth names and mid cap. So I think Fisher was up like 15% at one point today. AMC 30% or something. I think GameStop also like 30%, and then a lot of them kind of toppled over into the close or just throughout the day. Fisker did still close up 12%. GameStop still closed up 10%. But you got like a lot of these like large upper wicks on a lot of these daily candles. We did have an aggressive morning of buying. Yesterday, actually, I was saying, you know, it could be time for a little bit of a dead cat bounce. It's in the title of the stream right now, and you know, we could be seeing a dead cat bounce again. Dead cat bounces are typically like, how do you put it? They're typically in hindsight, like a dead cat bounce is not really something you like trade with like an idea. It's something like, you know, if it happens, you kind of, after it happens, you call it a dead cat bounce. But we're just talking about the potential here. You still have that wedge idea for the S&P. You've still got some classic bullish divergence on the 1 hour chart. You have a lot of these stocks that just got very, very oversold, just randomly popping up 20% like it's nothing. 4 hour kind of a hammer candle over here. I mean, this is probably the best 4-hour candle I've seen since like right here, and this candle did nothing. 4-hour classic bullish divergence we were talking about last night, that is still possible and developing. And moving over to the daily, not much on the daily. You got close to this 384 level, which was the level you talked about last night, I think, from your lows on March 25th of 2021. And yeah, that's really it for the S&P. I think short term, I do think that we might be able to see a little bit of a dead cat bounce, but like long term, you're in the middle of nowhere, which is the same analysis as last night. And then moving over to the QQQ, very similar on the lower time frames. On the daily, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. You still have that gap fill around 277. 4-hour, you do have some classic bullish divergence developing. 1-hour chart, that same wedge idea. You're getting a lot of like these lower time frame wedges across the board. So these 1-hour charts are really starting to come together. Moving on to the NASDAQ, very similar. And that's actually testing a breakout going into tomorrow morning. And futures are up, by the way. Futures are up pretty nicely. S&P futures up 0.6%. NASDAQ futures up 1%. Russell futures up 0.5%. It's a little bit delayed, but yeah. And then on the 4-hour, still kind of just walking down this demand line over here, this descending broadening wedge. So lower time frames are starting to show some variables, which is very interesting. You actually did fill the gap that we talked about last night. This 11.2K gap on the NASDAQ was filled today. You went a little bit lower. You went down to 11.1K, and then you ended up bouncing to close to 11.4K almost. And then moving over to the Russell 2000, the one major ETF / index that we look at, like, you know, every night on stream when we're doing market coverage, that's actually at a level. It's actually testing the pre-COVID highs. It does have this gap fill over here at 166-ish. We'll see. 4-hour chart, triple classic bullish divergence developing. I'm going to redraw this demand line. That. I'm going to redraw this supply line. So look at that. On the cusp of breaking out with how I just redrew that with some triple classic bullish divergence on the 4-hour. 1 hour, you kind of already closed out a breakout. You're going to still want some more confirmation. But it's a very interesting setup going into tomorrow as long as you can hold these lows right over here around 170. I mean, your next resistance I see is probably around over here around 177. So that does give you decent reward to risk. Not amazing, but 1.4 with, you know, a technical edge as well, but we'll see. So apart from that, we have the ARK ETF bouncing off this demand line on the 4-hour, another one with 4-hour classic bullish divergence. On the daily, it went down to this $35 level, which is kind of your lows from 2018, bounced up 6% today. On the 1-hour chart, I'm gonna actually redraw this, another one testing close to breakout. So, you know, kind of the same thing across the board on the 1 hour. You're starting to look probably the best you've looked in a couple of weeks on the 1-hour chart. But we're not confirmed yet. You still gotta, you know, the amount of times we've tested a breakout has been a lot, right? You still gotta wait and see if we can confirm the breakout, because we've tested breakouts multiple times in this downtrend. And again, even if you do break out, this is not the biggest pattern in the world. A common retrace of this is only gonna like take you back up to like over here or something, and that's nothing compared to how much you've sold off. So we're talking about smaller patterns, which again, hence the potential idea for a dead cat bounce. Maybe early next week, maybe even tomorrow if we get some strength and volume. We'll see what happens. The guy says, anyone know anything about put call ratios and using as a variable for the bottom? I don't know, you know, what the stats are and using it as a variable to even trade in general, but I do know that the puts have been heavily outweighing calls for many, many different sectors for a while now. All right, so that's your ARK ETF. And then finally, energy. I don't know. TA's been pretty rough on XLE lately. It's just very, very choppy. I mean, this whole entire area has been pretty hard to do much analysis. So like, I'm kind of getting to the point on XLE where I'm like, let's just do this. We're going to set an alert right at the top. We're going to set an alert right at the bottom, and we'll just see which way it plays. Just leave it like that. Okay. Check out the volume on ARK today. Wow. That's actually very interesting. That's the highest volume ever, maybe. I think it is. Highest volume ever for the ARK ETF on a big green day as well. That is a very, very interesting variable. See what the volume look like on the S&P. This look like it's dropping a little bit actually, which is interesting. Same for the QQQ. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much the overall market breakdown. Let's move on to some individual names. We'll start with AMC and GameStop, which made nice spikes this morning. Shout out to Glenn in Premium, who was like, I don't remember what Glenn said, but just thinking that this could happen pretty soon, and it did happen very soon. Said something yesterday about AMC. I'd probably just look at it like this. I think you have some resistance, and wow, look at this. Remember what we were looking at as support until we broke it around like $13, $14 from these lows over here. You flip that into resistance today. But I would look at it like this in general. I think pretty much above this area would be a breakout for AMC. What in general, it would also be nice if you can make a higher low. AMC was actually the only failed option alert today. I tried to alert some AMC calls around over here. It was not only a wedge breakout with hidden bullish divergence and back testing a level, it was also a bullish Garley. So the variables were there, it just didn't work out. Like, you know, those are some nice variables. They're just not going to play out all the time. And then actually did rally into the close. Let's see what it did after hours. Even higher. Wow. Big move after hours. Well, not a big move. It's AMC. 2%. So that's AMC. And then moving over to, well, let's look at the daily first. Not much. Not much, to be honest. I'd say support looks like it's around $9 maybe. $8.93-ish. And then moving on to GameStop. It actually did bounce off support. We've been looking at this support this week on the stream. Back from your lows in March, you bounced right off of it. From your low of day to high of day, 37%, 38% move. And still technically you have some potential hidden bullish divergence as long as you hold these lows. We'll see. And that's on both oscillators actually. And then going to lower time frames, this is how I have my 4-hour channel drawn. And then you've actually got some classic bullish divergence and you're oversold. So these variables, they're starting to pack up. What's the right word to use? I don't even know. But you get the point. Next up is Tesla. This was actually down today. It broke a key level yesterday that I was talking about, not last night, but the night before on Tuesday night. I was talking about this level. We were like up over here. There was like the bullish bad and everything. You remember? This was one top 3 worst trade of the week for me. And then it broke this low, and then you kind of got some fall through to the downside today. You got a little bit of a intraday move though. Look, you know, you kind of gapped down in the morning, but you had this like big move, and then you kind of you flipped like 755ish, you went up to 758, 59 into resistance. Okay, it was one support flipped into resistance. So even with like the really, really nice moves today, you're seeing still supports from literally like 2 days ago, or supports we were testing from 2 days ago, flipping into resistance on names like Tesla, right? Previous support, flipping into resistance, despite the move higher in the morning. And then same thing on AMC. Previous support, flipping into resistance. So you are still seeing that. And then moving on, what name was up 13% today? Fisker was. And honestly, like, there wasn't much of like a technical edge. I think it was just oversold. But if you were watching last night's stream, I was like saying like something along the lines of like, you know, congrats to the Bears, but we'll see how this turns out. And it was a good start, but of course, you know, I'm just talking like years down the line. But we also did chart this wedge last night on the weekly. You're still very well within it, and you'd probably want to wait for that Mackie to start curling back towards green before we talk about classic bullish divergence. But what did you get, and what have we been talking about? Daily classic bullish divergence is still developing, okay, and you got kind of like a tweezer bottom bullish engulfing candle today. So this, again, it's not a certainty, but it sets up a decent reward to risk, right? Where it's kind of clear where you could place a stop just a little bit under your support, right? And the next resistance, I'd say, is around like $12. It gives you a reward to risk off this level. But again, there was clearly better entry areas like a day ago. But that's always in hindsight, right? And even on the 1 hour or the 4 hour classic bullish divergence. So nice, really strong move on Fisker today. And this is kind of like an inverse head and shoulders here. Take a look at this on the 1 hour. And this probably looks even better on like the 30-minute, but we'll stay off that time frame for right now. And yeah, so just breaking above this blue zone in general would be very key. All right, this was support. Hopefully it doesn't flip into resistance. And then clove bounced right off the level we've been talking about. Again, you don't even really have the chart to notice that it was just retesting the $2 level, which was previous all-time lows. It did fill the gap, so you don't have to worry about that gap fill anymore on clove. And not only that, but you reclaimed this blue zone of support from these lows and this low. So good technical work. Classic bullish divergence as well over here. And you're still in this channel. You're much closer to the demand line than the supply line in general. As long as you can hold these lows, it's not a certainty that it will go up and not go down, but it's a decent reward to risk. So yeah, it looks like it flagged for a little bit. If we go down to like the 30-minute, you flagged for a little bit like over here, and then you kind of broke out into the close going into tomorrow. So not a lot of resistance. I wouldn't even say 250, but to like 240. I'd probably look at 240 first. This low over here, and then zoom in, these lows right over here. So that is clove. DraftKings was up 11% today. Now you got triple classic bullish divergence developing. Draw the wedge a little bit. Bullish engulfing candle today. And here's the thing. I keep bringing up the same point every single night on stream, but it's a valid point in certain cases. Like, you know, if we zoom out and you didn't know what a percent was, like, just forget about percentage moves and all that. If you just look at this chart, like, it looks like you did nothing today, right? Because of how much it's sold off, but it was up 11% today. So imagine percents aren't even a thing, right? You went down this much. Imagine like you just go up like, all right, you went all the way down this much. Imagine it just decides to go up like this much, right? It looks like literally nothing. It looks like nothing because it just went from here to here. So if you do that, that's got to be like nothing, right? That's a 60% move, okay? This is the scenario I keep talking about on a lot of these types of names that just got absolutely demolished, where, you know, not all of them are going to start reversing like that, but you can start to see some of them just shoot right back up. I mean, again, don't take all these as like a literal example, but like something like Upstart, this got absolutely demolished, and just looking at this chart, you know, it's like, oh, it had like a little bounce that was up 17% today. So these little moves, you know, compared to how much they've fallen in stock price, can be large moves in percentage gains. And that's obviously, you know, like, it's obvious, but you don't really think about it when you're just looking at charts all the time. So it is very interesting. I guess we'll just talk about Upstart after the gap down. There's not much you can do. Got a bullish engulfing candle today. You got close to retesting all-time lows. That's certainly it for Upstart. I'm just running through my watches right now. Dogecoin, back to crypto for a second. This is at its the lowest levels since like over here before the crazy epic squeeze to 70 something cents, I think. It would be interesting if it did bounce where it was consolidating before it went to the moon. It would be interesting if that flipped into support now. All right, but when, you know, you have certain names in the crypto space doing negative 99% for like 3 days in a row, you still want to make sure you're managing risk and whatnot. Actually, let me not chart this on the daily. Let's go over to the weekly. Let's see how that wedge is looking. Yeah, I'd probably redraw it. This. All right, so that's the Doge wedge on the weekly. Like, again, like, with these names that are just so volatile right now, like, I would be very, very careful with position sizing. But in general, these are like the setups that, like, we've seen historically do insane things, okay? Again, I don't know, but just imagine you make a little move like this, right? You fell down this much. Let's just go back up a little bit like this. A move like that is hundreds of percents. So, you know, these are kind of the setups that reversal traders wait for. It's just, it's very, very tough to pinpoint like the exact bottom, right? Because, you know, it could very well have been right over here, but also it could have been like over here. And that's this will work, 1 second. All right, let's do it this way. Nothing's working. Okay. And that's like a 30% drop, right? So, yeah. BBIG. This filled its gap after that squeeze on news. I don't know if squeeze is the right word, but move up on news. 4-hour bullish engulfing candle today. Probably a 1-hour wedge breakout. There you go. That's pretty interesting. You've got triple. If you ignore this little, just like, which we're not going to, I'm not going to call it textbook, but let's say it didn't have this like really quick gap down and then run back up. Like if you were just looking like where you were spending most of your time in price action, it's kind of like 3 higher lows, but it's not textbook. Snapchat. I'm just literally just going down my watch list, and I haven't even looked at these in a few days. Key level here is $21 for Snapchat. Look at this high over here. These are lows over here. NVIDIA. This is retesting a high from April of last year, almost a year ago. DOGE candle today. Potential classic bullish divergence if the MACD starts curling. Wish was up a good amount today. Wish still just, it's been spending like a month just testing this supply line, still doing the same exact thing. This double bottom got wrecked. But bullish engulfing candle today on Wish. Fall through price action on some of these names tomorrow would be very, very interesting. BBIG ran after hours. Wow, it did, yeah. So that's a nice move. I don't know if there was news, but regardless, wedge did come first. Yeah. It's kind of similar to Fisker on the 1 hour. I don't know if a lot of like these small caps are kind of looking like this, but another one with this like low time frame inverse head and shoulder setup. So what I'm actually going to do here, and for Fisker as well, is set up alerts around the necklines. Go. And skills was up 15% today. Bullish engulfing on the 4 hour. Classic bullish divergence on the 4 hour. It's just very interesting. We have times when it's literally like nearly impossible to find these types of setups. And then there's times like tonight where almost all the charts have these setups, right? The same variables I look for personally on my reversal trades. It's just the overall trend is overwhelmingly bearish right now. So who knows if these bullish variables will underperform like a lot of them have been in the last few months in such a bearish trend, right? But it is interesting to see all of them kind of aligning at the same time while that Russell 2000 is at that key level, right? And again, we were seeing these moves on like small caps, mid caps. A lot of large caps were like slightly red. Like Tesla was down today. Apple was down today. Twitter was down today. So we are starting to see that contrast, which we haven't seen in a long time. And this is something I've been talking about all week. Is like you've underperformed the S&P and the Nasdaq for a long time, Russell. But interesting. It was up 1% today. Meanwhile, the S&P and the QQQ were red. So okay. RIVN did make a big move. I think Affirm as well after hours or something. RIVN was up 18% today. Bullish pin bar on the daily. On the weekly, sorry. On the daily, you're testing a breakout of this wedge. I think we just recently charted this. And you got this gap fill over here at like 29. I do think this looks interesting as well, Justin. Oh, what's up, Justin? How you doing? Just realized it was you. So we'll see what happens. And then I'd probably chart this on the 4 hour. But also, you gap? Yeah, you gapped up this morning a little bit, so you have also a downside gap now. I don't know if you want to try your demand line like this or line up like that, whatever you want. Peloton was up 10% today. Bullish engulfing as well. A lot of bullish engulfings. Futures around the same. And look at this, UST is now down to 11 cents, okay? What is supposed to be stable at $1 is now 12 cents, 13 cents, wow. 44% drop just in the last hour. I'm not sure if Mehdi is here. And the second highest daily volume for ARK was yesterday as well, says Chris. It's correct. Alright, so those are just like a bunch of tickers on my watch list. Now we're going to do some trade recaps from today. 3 for 4, I believe, on alerts. Alright, let's see what happened. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Check out the links in the description. Join the Discord. It's free to join. Alright, so these are premium alerts. First one, puts from today, 11:25 a.m. This was a very nice one. So these are around a little bit under $2 at 11:25 in the morning. And I was noticing this wedge over here on the SPY. And yeah, broke down, and these puts, which were just under $2. They went up actually quite a bit. Let's go down a little bit. They went up 75%. They went from they were like 188, they went to like 332 in about half an hour. So that was the first alert from today in premium. And you know, it was very simple. First, I was watching for this level. I said blue zone under stock price is the next support I see for the SPY around 391. We went to test that level, right? Right over here, we tested the VWAP, and then I said if that VWAP breaks, that there is no support till yesterday's low. Actually, I think it was even the morning's low potentially. No, it was yesterday's low, I think. And then you went all the way down there, right? You just went all the way down. You actually came like over here, I think, like 385, which was the low of day, I believe. So that was the first alert puts. They worked out nicely. Then I alerted MARA lotto calls. I was watching like an intraday cup and handle on Mara and Bitcoin. The cup and handles didn't really fully play out. Basically, the move in May was just up to test the neckline, and I did say to watch the neckline. When it was there, I said just keep an eye out for the neckline, and this is pretty much just kind of tested this area, and then that was it. But it did allow for those to go up 20%. And again, this is 12:33. I marked these green on the sheet as a 20% win. And at 12:26, I alerted them. Like, and that's the thing about a lot of the plays this week. Like, literally, not literally, but pretty much, like, I'd say like half of them at least from premium, like, I alerted them, and within like 10 minutes, they're up like 20 to 30%. Like, we haven't gotten like insane, like really big gains apart from like a couple, but just like a lot of these, like this 25%, 20%, a lot of them, like, it's like literally I alert it and it just goes boom, 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 up 20%, and then it's cool. And it just happened like so many times apart from like a couple, like this 60% over here. I think this one actually ran like 70%. This is like an older screenshot, but yeah, this is the week so far for options. Pretty good, if I do say so myself. Had a 7-win streak in premium until AMC failed today, which I'm going to go over in a second. I think we already kind of talked about earlier in the stream too when we were looking at AMC. But yeah, in general, 13 wins and 3 losses so far this week. These two QQQ1s were alerted to all of you in the Discord, not just in premium. And after Mara, I alerted AMC. This was the one that failed today. I already showed you the variables earlier in the stream, but I was basically watching like this Gartley, this wedge, and it was breaking out with the hidden bullish divergence, and it just didn't work out. The stop I put over here was this red line. I don't know if you can see it, it's kind of small, but it was around 1070. It got down towards the stop, it stopped out. It went a little bit lower after that, then it went back up towards the end of the day, and then after hours like we looked at. So just not a great trade. Like, the variables were the same variables I use a lot of the time. It just didn't work out. That's why technicals are not certainty. And then I alerted some SPY puts on this triangle breakdown later in the day, and that went up 50% in about 20 minutes. So, and then 70%, let's see, I alerted this at 1:33, at 2:30, pretty much in an hour they were up 70%. So that was actually these ones. It's not 20%, it's 70% here. But yeah, pretty good day for alerts. 3 for 4. Honestly, in another universe, this AMC trade was a really nice one. It just, you know, nice trades can fail, and that's what it was. So I just gotta be honest, like, you know, the swings wrecked, but the options, that's just where it's been. So actually, I was only gonna bring this up on stream, but there's 15 people watching right now, and there's 2,000 people in the Discord. So 1 day promo, literally there's like a few hours left for this promo, but I just walked you through the 3 out of 4 winners from today in premium. And in general, like, you know, the simulator, the whole entire market's pretty much crashing. The simulator, the long-term part of the Discord, the simulator, it's down, you know, not down as much as the S&P, but it's down right now. The swings have done not well at all this year. There was some good times in like March, I believe, when we hit that first bottom, but you know, really the bread and butter for a while now. And if you watch the streams, or if you're in the Discord, you know, it's been this, like, these two channels right here have just been like, I don't know, I feel this is just the best way I can provide value right now. It's just really tough because long term trying to pick out these bottoms is very, very tough. And just, I think it's a game of averaging more than analysis, you know, or a mixture of the two. And then swing trading, like, on the long side, until like maybe like where we're getting to right now in some of these growth names, has been nearly impossible for like 90% of stocks in like the past 2 months, or at least the past month. So really it's just been day trades, and you know, I share a few of them. Like, I think the last 7 I've shared outside of premium were winners. There's a 7 win streak going on right now, I believe, in terms of the out of premium trade alerts. So those by itself could pay for premium, but yeah, I just feel like if you want to maybe see where my value is right now, I feel like that's just the area where I'm providing the most value. I have to put the disclaimer that past results are not always indicative of the future. But with all that being said, there's a 1-day promo, or just today. I have some more free time, so I want to do some more. I've gotten a lot of messages about one-on-one classes, but again, I also want to make sure you're getting the value that I can provide, or that I have been providing the best lately, and hopefully I will continue to. But that's really just been in these 2 channels. So for anybody who joins annual premium, literally tonight, you're also going to get a 30-minute one-on-one class with me included in that. Yeah, if you're not in premium, you just click this link. The link's also in the description. Sign up for annual, and then DM me that you signed up tonight, and we're going to schedule a time. It'll be soon, like within the next week or 2, and we'll do a 30-minute one-on-one call with whatever you need help with, or however I can help you. And if you're already in premium, if you're a monthly member and you want to do it, you can't really sign up through here. DM me and I'm going to switch you over to annual, like manually. Basically, if you're interested in this and you want the, I'm not going to say free, but complimentary one-on-one class for 30 minutes, you know, alongside a full year, which is discounted, by the way, compared to paying monthly for a year, then DM me, all right? And you have pretty much like tonight. So when I wake up tomorrow morning, if you haven't DM'd me, offer's going to be gone. I'm going to be deleting these messages, and that's that. Because, you know, I don't want to have too many classes, and also, like, you know, I don't like doing promos for too long. All right, so just in general, annual is so bright, 30% cheaper than monthly. So yeah, if you're in premium already, you can still do this, and you'll be prorated for whatever's left in your month. There you go. All right, just want to let you all know on the stream. Thank you. And yeah, we could do ticker requests now, I guess. Hit the like button. Thank you for 17 likes. We'll look at Roblox first for Justin. Just up 19%. This is what I'm saying. Just a lot of these ones, they just pop out of nowhere in like a little move. What looks like a little move on a chart's a 19% move. Based on how I just redrew my supply line, I'd say it's testing a breakout. You got a nice volume today. Maybe some 4-hour classic bullish divergence. Yes, you have it. And even on the 4-hour, getting close to a breakout test of this descending broadening wedge. Bullish engulfing candle, as well as your first 4-hour candle for today right over here. Variables are there, but again, like, you know, it was up 19% today alone, so like, we'll see. But again, like, that's really nothing compared to how much it's sold out for a long time. So that's Roblox. Square up 6% today. I would like to see Square get back above like 83 from this low over here and these like 3 different highs over here. I'd like to see it get back above 83. That's the first level I'd be looking out for. And if it can, if it keeps selling off, I'd say 56. Really this zone over here. 50 or $60 to 56 is like your next support. All right, Disney, did they have earnings today, or was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Hammer candle and filling a gap today. I think it cut out for a second, but I'm good. You're oversold. on the daily. We'll look at that if it's the harmonic in a second. Let me just chart this first. It's your channel. And in terms of a harmonic, it might be a bullish bat. Close to a bullish bat that, hold up. The C point is shallow. I don't think there's much of a better way to look at this. Maybe a shark instead. A shark is a better way to look at this, but you are a little bit shy of that 886 PCZ. Let's say if this hammer and everything failed in the divergence and you did drop to the 886, that would be pretty close to this support around 92. So those are like the different scenarios for Disney. SOFI, 3% today. Still in the wedge. That's really it. Just waiting to see if it can break out of the wedge at some point. And another one. Oh my gosh. This is the most classic bullish divergence I've seen on the 4-hour in a very long time. Wow. Another one with 4-hour classic bullish divergence. All right, any other takers? All right, cool. All right, so that's going to be it for the week. Thank you for watching the streams. Next stream will be Monday, I think. Have a good night, everybody. Remember, you know, it's a tough market. It is a very tough market right now. And, you know, just got to think long term. Trust me. Now, I've talked about my struggle. I talked about my struggles earlier in the week. It's a very, very, very tough market. So use this for education, for the future, and let this create the opportunities that a lot of us are looking for. And it is creating a lot of the opportunities that I personally look for. So we'll see what happens. Thank you for watching the stream. Reminder, final hours to sign up for premium annual. Get that discount compared to monthly. And on top of that, get a one-on-one class with me. It's not an easy market. I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I might be able to help you out in an area that you haven't thought about yet. Might be able to, you know, show you a certain pattern or just anything that I use that can maybe change things for you a little bit. And yeah, of course, it's not just status, obviously, and not just the options. Hopefully when the swing market gets better, like just imagine this, just imagine, right? We're getting these like 15-20% moves like it's nothing just on potential dead cat bounce days. And like when even if this is already the real reversal for some mid caps, and I don't know if it is yet, it doesn't even matter. But just imagine when like the market becomes like actually swingable again, what like it could be like. I don't know. It's just, it really does frustrate me a bit. Like, there's just a lot of people weren't here when like I was able to like actually share swings. Like, it's just tough. But you know, there's that, and then the watch list I send all the time, and then the bullseye from Trading Ticks, all that good stuff for a whole entire year. Just find me somebody else sharing all that for the same price for a whole year. And if you actually do, like, actually send it to me so I can find a way to improve. Like, I'm not even trying to be like egotistical. Like, actually let me know if somebody else is doing the same thing. All right. So have a good night. Check out the link in the description if you want to join and DM me. My DMs are always open on Discord. Just go to the Discord, look for my name, and then click on send message, or on Twitter @ChampionVibe. All right. So thank you all for watching the stream, all the support. I say this all the time, but like, especially when the market's literally like being a bear market in some of the indices, and almost a technical bear market for the S&P, I believe. The 13, 15, 17, 20 of you that show up to the streams, I'm sorry to all the other like 3,000 people subscribed, or almost 4,000. Like, these 13 to 14 people taking out the time to like watch and learn during the roughest times in the market are going to be the ones that do the best during the good times in the market. All right. So it feels like things are dry and slow and difficult right now. And when things actually become like much more fun again, and even like some mornings like today, like I'm sure a lot of you can already tell the difference that it makes. So the dedication will pay off. It's not gonna like boom, tomorrow you're gonna wake up and be a multimillionaire. Maybe some of you already are, I don't know. But it adds up over time. It's like delayed gratification. All right. So thank you for supporting me and investing in yourself. Have a good night, have a good weekend, and I'll see you on the next stream. And the Fear and Greed Index was 6 today, says the guy. So we'll leave it on that. Just something to think about.